morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody's off to a good Sunday. Unfortunately, I said what do you call these things? I don't even know. A reminder to let people know what time I'm going live. But unfortunately, nobody's here. But we're gonna do what we got to do, and talk about the dangers of setting dates. I've done videos on this before. I think I've done one or two, maybe. I've talked about it, but there are extreme dangers of setting dates when the return of Jesus Christ will happen. And there are many people on this platform that I've seen actually giving actual dates, like January 31st or February 1st, 2022, whatever it may be. It's a dangerous thing to do. And it gives people a certain hope for that certain day. Hey, sister. So when you give people a hope for a certain day, let's say somebody told me the rapture is going to happen today, and here's the reasons why, and blah, 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 and I'm sitting here waiting, and it doesn't happen. It brings on more disappointment. So there are dangers of doing that, and this is the conversation I had with someone that walked away from me, and they were upset that I said that I'm not giving them hope by not giving them dates, or that in that sense of the word. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not giving you hope. The Bible gives you hope to when the Lord's going to return. He gave us the signs and the seasons, but that doesn't mean you set dates. Some people want to have dates, and they know, okay, he's coming today. This is great. Let's have a party. You can't do that. So there were dangers to doing this. You're hurting people. You're hurting people's hopes. They're the ones who are hurting people in their hopes, not me. No, they have titles like 88 Reasons Jesus is Coming Back in 1988, October 21st, 2011, the end of the world, December 21st, 2002, the end of the world. Jesus is going to return during the year of the Jubilee, or Jesus is going to return during the next blood moon. We talked about the blood moons too recently. Can we set a date? That's right, brother. Can we set dates? These pronouncements, these proclaims are said all the time throughout the year, and many gullible people, unfortunately, make life-altering decisions on these things as well when they hear these things. And it's dangerous. The main reason that date setting for end times is wrong, that Jesus told his disciples in reply to their question about the timing of future. Hey, brother. The timing of future things. He said in Acts 1:7, that's what Acts 1:7, he said to them, it's not for you to know the times or the seasons that the Father has fixed by his own authority. So the date setting, predictors, predictions, the people that have always been wrong, always, throughout time, throughout history, these self-proclaimed prophets, so-called teachers, preachers, and outright charlatans have declared with certainty that a specific date in the near future was the day Jesus would return, would come back. And then what happens when he didn't? How do these teachers look? You know what's funny about these teachers? They keep doing it. They keep doing it. Here's a new date. I'm laughing because it's great. Here's a new date. Here's a new time. So these teachers were proven that they were not true prophets. Let's read Deuteronomy 18, 21, 22. And if you say in your heart, how may we know the word that the Lord has not spoken? When a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the word does not come to pass or come true, that is a word that the Lord has not spoken. The prophet has spoken in prematurely. You need not be afraid of him. Okay? That tells you right there. If he's not speaking the word of the Lord, if he whatever he prophesies doesn't come true, Jesus said that no man knows the time or the hour of his return. Matthew 24:36. But concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but the Father only. But yet some people rationalize their date setting by saying that we might know the day and hour. We can still get pretty close, but apparently not. Yeah, they all do, sister. They all do. They all do. Jehovah's Witness, everybody does. They set the dates, and what happens when it doesn't happen? We know this is no good. So one reason God has not told us the day or the hour when Jesus will come again, he wants us to live our lives by faith for his glory. Before an unbelieving world, he wants us to live that way. He wants us to be involved in our communities. Let's read 1 Thessalonians 4:11. And to aspire to live quietly, and to mind your own affairs, and to work with your hands, as we are instructed to do. Serving other churches also. Ephesians 6:7. Rendering service with goodwill as to the Lord and not to man, and raising our children to know or honor him. Deuteronomy 6:6. What great event. Yeah, because they go door to door and they work hard at it, brother. But other than that, they're nothing, and you know that. Deuteronomy 6:6, and these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. So one common response to end time date settings that people stop engaging in life. This is what I talk about quite often. When people say, "Oh, you know what, Rob, God's coming." Hi, your sister Latina. When people say, "Rob, Jesus is coming soon. Don't worry. Just don't worry about anything." No, we have to live our lives. We have to live our lives. They'll tell you to stop engaging. Just stop. Jesus is coming. Don't worry. They pack up and preparing for the apocalypse. And no, we have a life to live. We have work to do while we're here. We got to go to work physically. We got to do things. We're not supposed to just sit down and say, "I'm just going to sit here and wait for you, Lord." Don't work that way. So there were groups. There's always been groups. There's one group that I read in the 1830s, followed by a preacher. His name was William Miller. He became convinced that Jesus would return in October of 1844. He was able to convince many people. As I did read this, it was interesting. Some of whom sold their possessions, quit their jobs, and waited for the end. Is that something we should do? So I hate to tell people, I hate to use the word wrong, but when people say, what, Rob, don't worry about your problems, don't worry about things, Jesus is coming soon. Okay, I'm just going to stop doing what I'm doing. So we know Jesus didn't return in 1844. And the non-event became known as the Great Disappointment. True. His followers, they salvaged Miller's reputation by claiming that Jesus had in fact returned spiritually to a heavenly temple. So this is a delusional group, just like there are many today. So I'm just reading a little bit. Forgive me, guys. So there are another reason date setting for end times is wrong is that it tends to disregard Jesus' final command to his followers shortly before he ascended back into heaven. Jesus told his followers to go into the world and make disciples. Matthew 28:19. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations and baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We have work to do. We have work to do while we're here. This is what people don't understand. Please listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Hey, Wolverine. He did not say focus your energies on trying to figure out when I'm coming back. And there were too many watchmen to just focus on that. That's it. He didn't do that. He gave us several parables that gives us hope and encourages us with an attitude of readiness. But that readiness does not mean, just sky watching all the time. Just, where are you, Lord? I thought you were coming today. It means being faithful. And all he told us to pursue, like holiness. Hebrews 12:14. Strive for peace with everyone, and for the holiness without which no one will see the Lord. Cross-carrying also, Luke 9:23. And he said to all, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. And loving the people he brings across our paths. Romans 13:8. Owe no one anything except to love each other. For the one who loves another has fulfilled the law. So Jesus did tell us to store up treasures in heaven. Luke 12:33. Sell your possessions and give to the needy. Provide yourselves with money bags that do not grow old, with the treasure in the heavens that do not fail, where no thief approaches and no one destroys. To seek unity with other believers, as we're doing right now. John 17:22-23. The glory that you have given me, I have given to them, and that they may be one, even as we are one, I in them, and you in me, that they may become perfectly one. Right, sisters? That's what we were talking about. So that the world may not know that you sent me, and love them even as you loved me. We are one. Hold on, guys. We are one in Christ. We also are to work as harvesters in his fields. Luke 10:2. And he said to them, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. I told you guys. Therefore pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers in his harvest. The laborers. He said nothing of, Jesus said nothing of trying to predict the date of his return. He didn't say anything about that. And too many people here are doing that. When they become preoccupied by setting, a date, their priorities are not in the right order. They become, what did Sister Kate say? Rapture mania. So we know that date setting for the end times and then being proven wrong also prompts dispersion from unbelievers as well. The skeptics already mock us. They mock the supernatural and discount the Bible as nonsense. 1 Corinthians 1:18. For the word of the cross is folly to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved is the power of God. All right, Brian, have a good day. So they often look to mock Christianity. When a public figure announces end times date in such authority that he or she proclaims does not happen, how bad do we look? How bad do we look? It appears that Jesus it appears that the signs that Jesus gave are unfolding, so I believe his return may be soon. That sentence is merely a personal opinion and leaves room for error. But when date setters declare with finality that a certain date or time frame must be the right one, they only invite great dispersion, which reflects it gives us a bad name and gives Christ a bad name. There's people who say, "Well, I told you so." This guy keeps saying Jesus Christ is coming back today, and he didn't. Christianity. So if God wanted us to know when the Son was returning, he would have made it clear in his word As is, he clearly said that we would not know the time or date. All we have to do is go on what he has revealed to us, and the date is simply not in Scripture. Not there. So any speculation, any prediction is just that. It's all it is. Some people get involved in date setting and for the end times in order to appear, smart. I know more than you. It's true. True. Or to attract attention, or raise money. Some also may have less motives, regardless of why these date setters for the end times is wrong. Why these date setters, I should say, for the end time. I did say it correctly, I think. We should consider the signs that Jesus gave, and then live in such a way that we wouldn't be ashamed if he came this very hour. 1 John 2:28. And now, little children, abide in him, so that when he appears, we may have confidence and not shrink from him in shame at his coming. Well, this is a great study, and shouldn't date set. And I see too much of it here, and people, like I said, when they give the wrong date, there are non-believers that say, well, look, there's another guy saying, well, Jesus is coming today, and he didn't. He's coming last week, and he didn't. Christianity is false. And they do want attention, a lot of these watchmen. I'm not saying we shouldn't look for the return of Jesus Christ. We should all have a yearning for the Lord's return. But we don't know the date. Signs happen, yes, they happen. I don't know the date, guys, and neither do you. I wish he would come as soon as possible. Is that going to happen? I don't know that. Signs continue to show that he is close. I hope I didn't lose the chat. No, I didn't. But again, a great study, and thank you guys for coming in. And we learn every day. Another angle will be that they're trying to get people. No, like I said, sister, we have to. Here's the difference, sister. Okay, listen, and you're a smart lady. Here's the difference. You said it. If you set a time, a date, it's wrong. It's flat out wrong. Yes, we should show people that the Lord is close to wake up. Yes, this is part of it. We discussed this yesterday, sister. We that's part of it. But when you date set, that's wrong. Jesus never told us a date. You're giving people false hope for that date. You're giving the mockers and the scoffers a reason to say, well, look, they're wrong. Christianity's wrong. It said she said Jesus was coming today. So that's what this study is about, sister. We should warn people of the return of Christ. It's part of the Bible. It's part of what we have to do. But there are people, sister, that this is all they do is talk about the date. And then when they're wrong with one date, they set another. How bad does that look for Christianity? Looks terrible. Jesus did not give us the time. God did not give us the time. It's not written in the book anywhere. There's no years in the book. God has no time clock. But Rapture Mania, that's it. We should talk about the return. So don't get me wrong. We should talk about the return. Like Sister said, warn others that he's coming. That's part of it. But when you set dates and you're a date setter all day long, I've seen many channels do that. And you're wrong all the time. So how bad do you look? Most of them are looking for attention. But thank you guys for coming in. Like I said, I thought this was a good study. Every study is a good study when we read directly from the book. And yeah, this was fun. When I prepared for it this morning and took time, and I'm grateful. It was a good study. So thank you guys for coming in, sister. Well, go get some, sister. I will be, I'll be around somewhere along the day. Who knows? But hi, sister. This was a good study, and I'm glad you guys came in. Sister Kate, Sister Marielle. Sorry, I'm about to end this, sister. Jesse, Brian, uh, Latina was here. I haven't seen her in a while. But another good study, and thank you all for coming in. You know, every Sunday we're going to start doing this, and hopefully, you know, when I get set the timer for everybody, it gives people a few days to know that I'm coming on, a few hours at least, and I think it helps. But God bless you all. Stay safe. Stay in the Word and pray. And again, thank you all for coming in. Bye-bye.